All right, everyone. Apologies for the slightly dodgy setup. I don't have my proper studio light or anything here. I'm currently doing the stream from my old childhood bedroom back home. So for 1 week only, you've got some pretty, poor lighting, but I'm sure you can get used to it. It'd be fine. It's only one stream. I have to talk a little bit quietly as well because some of my family, I think, is still sleeping. Hello, Mr. Blanky, Dakshin, Wagwan, mate. John, I think Haaland might even be a captaincy shout this week. Yeah, it's a huge, you're right, he's a huge differential if he plays. Merry Christmas, Alexandra. I had a lovely time, thank you. I hope you did too. And Laura, hello. Yeah, I'd say on your question, Laura, I wouldn't be replacing Haaland at this point. I think, as John rightly says, he could be back this week. I don't actually see any harm in starting him this week, just on a whim that he plays. Because I think he's either going to start or not feature at all. So you might as well start him just on a whim that he plays, and then just have someone, well, hopefully you have someone decent on your bench to come in. That would be my thinking. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't be looking to sell Haaland unless you're doing it for 1 week. Then maybe that's an option, I guess. But yeah, I quite like Haaland, to be honest. Oh, my team, right? It's a bit of a disaster. Not gonna lie, I've got a lot going on with it at the moment. Hang on, we'll get rid of that. Bear with while we sort my screens out. Why have I got screenception? There we go. We'll make that one a bit bigger. Come on. There we go. Should be able to see that okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit unsure as what to do with my team, to be honest. Jamal Lascelles, I don't think he's going to play. I'm starting Cameron Archer. I think, to be honest, Luton at home is one of the few fixtures you can get away with starting him in, so I'm not too nervous about that. I just don't know where to go defensively with my transfer. So I've got Matty Cash, who I think I just need to get rid of him, basically. My options are get Trent. I can afford to, by the way, I have, look at my transfers here, got 9.1 million in the bank, right? So I could get rid of Matty Cash for Trent, but I have a feeling it will create financial difficulties with my team in the future should I do that. So I wouldn't be able to own, if I had Trent, I wouldn't be able to own both Salah and Haaland, which obviously is not ideal. So for me, I think I'm going to ignore Trent and I'm going to go for an Arsenal defender. So my question basically that I have to work out for myself is who is the best Arsenal defender for like price. So we got Saliba, Zinchenko, White or Gabriel seem to be like obviously the main starting four. I like Saliba. The thing is, and yeah, obviously Alexandru, like the guy to go for is Gabriel at 4.9 million, but we've seen him being benched for Kivior. So the question is, like, how nailed is he? Could I go into some games where he doesn't play? Whereas Saliba, I think, is going to play every single game that Arsenal have. So the question is, like, yeah, is Saliba worth the extra to Gabriel, basically? I guess I'll need to figure that out with my team in a second. Quite how that works. Should we see it? So can I build a team with Saliba? I'm not going to actually make the transfers. Can I build a team with Saliba, Haaland? Yeah, I can. And that looks pretty healthy. And then we can just get rid of one of my cheap midfielders. Gordon could be the one to go here, you know. So if I just go for, I don't know, cheap midfielder who plays, I'm not going to confirm my transfers. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, I go for McAtee. Yeah, I agree, Laura. I think you're right. So I may as well pay the extra. So then I've got 0.4 in the bank. So then I can replace Lascelles for someone semi-decent as well. Tarkovsky, someone 4.5 million or below, which there aren't a shortage of options. Potentially Gusto. Let's go Gusto. Where is Gusto? There he is. So yeah, that could be my team. It's not bad, is it? Yeah, I think Gabriel. I think I'll do cash to Gabriel this week. I don't mind that. Hopefully the transfer screen has reset now. Yeah. Cash to Gabriel, I'm thinking. So yeah, that's where I'm going with my team. I reckon. 92k overall now. I feel like this week I'm pretty much locking myself into a red arrow, I must say, but I'm just treading water, really. Dubravka in goal, Pedro Porro and Udogi. I have to play both of these. I just don't trust in Lascelles to start. Like, I completely get your point, Alexander, and it's one thing I've been thinking. But with Cher and Botman being back, I just don't know if that's worth it. Like Cher and Botman back fit, I don't think Lascelles is going to be risked. That's my only thought there, really. I'm not sure Stones is an option. You know, there will still be games where he won't feature. I've got a feeling, especially because he was injured for. Well, I don't know what the nature of his injury was, but he was out for a little while. So I don't reckon he's going to be risked too much. You know, there will be games where he doesn't play. I think of all the, when you look at certainly on FPL review and draft time, when you look at the top Man City defenders, Kyle Walker comes out in first place. So he's apparently the top Man City defender. Thiago Silva bench or start? I don't know. Lascelles news, I don't have any of that. I need some Lascelles news as well, so we'll go looking for that in a second. Is Neto a good option in goal? I'd say so. Bournemouth not amazing defensively, but they will keep some. They won't keep some clean sheets, sorry, but he will make quite a lot of saves. I wanted to look for Lascelles. What are people saying on Lascelles? Yeah, there's my appreciation post for Lascelles. Been an absolute legend in my team. Yeah, I just don't think Lascelles plays, I've got to say. Let's see if Jump the Wave's done a lineup prediction. See if Lascelles goes in it. God, she's been busy, hasn't she? Boxing Day morning, pumping out the predicted lineups. Sorry, folks. I'm going to have to lean, so I'll look very zoomed in. Yeah, Lascelles. No one in the Newcastle fans. You can see that's Lascelles there. So Lascelles, I think, yeah, he's not going to play this week. I'm going to keep him though. Gusto will be my transfer for Lascelles eventually, I think. Will you sell Salah and Son when they go to their cups? Well, I'm definitely going to have to sell Salah, I think. Yeah, it makes sense. And to be honest, I don't see a way of getting Haaland in at the moment without selling Salah. I just don't have that option. And what's really frustrating is when you look at my midfield at the moment, I don't have Son at the moment. I have no idea who I'm going to replace Salah with. I think, being completely honest, I'll probably replace Salah with someone dirt cheap and go for 3 up front and have a midfield of Bowen, Gordon, Saka and Palmer, and then have Haaland, Watkins, Solanke as a front 3. I think that's the way I'm gonna go. I'm wildcarding next week. Who would be the better goalkeeper, Martinez or Raya? I think probably Raya. I know I've got Martinez, but I've had him since game week 9. But yeah, I do think Raya, because when you look at the Arsenal, this is why I really like an Arsenal defender. Don't mind Richarlison, to be fair. That's not a bad shout. I might be going for him. But when you look at those Arsenal fixtures, I mean, look, next 4 fixtures they've got are really good. Then they got, one tricky one in Liverpool at home. And then they play West Ham away, which is a number 3 difficulty fixture. Not sure I agree with that. Then they got Burnley, so how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 fixtures. 6 of them they could keep a clean sheet in. I think feasibly could keep a clean sheet in. So I think Raya is better than Martinez, I must say. And then as long as you have like Dubravka on your bench, I mean, if you've got Raya and Dubravka as a double up, so that week that Arsenal play Liverpool, who have Newcastle got? So game week 23, Arsenal play Liverpool. Game week 23, Newcastle got Luton at home. So I reckon the Raya Dubravka double up is really, really nice. Yeah, I like Richarlison, Alexandru. I reckon I'll probably go for him, to be fair. It's my transfer in for Salah. Lots to think about, eh? I think I'm going to go for Saliba. It feels a little bit boring, but I also feel like he might have a goal in him at some point as well. I don't think he's due a goal or anything like that, but he could well have a goal in him. If I miss any questions, should I start Konsa or risk starting Archer versus Luton as Palmer is suspended? I would start Archer. I think I'd start Archer. Yeah, especially because Villa are away. I do think Man United could score. And if I know they're not amazing, right? But if Man United score, I don't really see Konsa scoring any points. He might get the odd attacking return here and there, and that's fair enough. But I don't think you can back Konsa to get an attacking return. Whereas Archer with Luton at home, I think he could do all right. And Sheffield United under Chris Wilder previously, they were really strong at home. I think that's one of the things that they had, right? So of all the fixtures to start Archer, I reckon this is the one. And it's what I'm doing. My bench option, though, is Charlie Taylor against Liverpool at home. So, yeah, it's not great, is it, I guess? I do think Salah could get taken out early, I guess, but I still feel like he's the best captain. But Solanke is not a bad shout at all, to be fair, is he? I think the captaincy for me, with my team, is between Salah and Solanke. And I'd say Son is definitely an option as well. Son will probably play 90, really, regardless of what happens. I would probably bench, quite honestly, it's really boring, but I would probably bench Colwill of that lot. Right, I'm going to go through some of the content that I prepped. Yeah, Nils, you probably catch up when I mentioned Son as captain, but I think Son is a good option, mate. Right. So my usual spiel. Just sort my screens out a sec. Score predictions then. So we've got quite a bit of football going on today. Newcastle and Nottingham Forest. I reckon Newcastle win that one 2-0 and probably keep a clean sheet. Now, at St James's Park, I just think Newcastle are a different beast. You know, they seem to... I think they've won... played 16 games at home and conceded 1 goal this season. So, something like that. I'm pretty sure I read on Twitter. They are just... At St James's Park, they are absolutely incredible. And I would back them to keep a clean sheet against a team of 12 men. Like, genuinely. So I do think they win that one by a couple goals to nil. Bournemouth and Fulham. I think Bournemouth win that one 3-1, I would say. You know what? Trippier as captain, I don't mind it. We'll get onto that in a second, mate. Sheffield United and Luton, I reckon both teams score. I could see that ending 2-2. Burnley and Liverpool, I don't think Liverpool are going to absolutely whitewash them, but likewise, I don't think Burnley are going to get a result. So I reckon Liverpool win that one 2-0, I'm saying. Villa and Man United, I think Man United score, but honestly, I don't see a way that they win that game. Villa just looks so good at the moment. So I reckon Villa win that one 2-1, I'm saying. Wolves and Brentford, similar score for that one. I think Wolves away. I think they just scraped that one 2-1, particularly Brentford without Mbeumo. They don't really have much going forward anymore. So, yeah, I think Wolves win that one. Chelsea and Crystal Palace, I think Chelsea win that 3-1. I do feel like Crystal Palace score in that game because Eze is back and they have Elise. So Eze and Elise in the Palace team make them really quite dangerous. So I do feel like they'll score in that one. I think Man City go back to their winning ways. You know, after that Club World Cup, they'll be high on confidence. And I just have a feeling that they're going to be on that run for the title now. So yeah, I think they win that one 3-0. This could be the start of a good Man City run. Don't know if Haaland's going to play. I think that's obviously the question. Brighton and Spurs, I think that's going to be a really tight, high-scoring game, but I think Spurs just have the quality to edge it. So I think they win that one 3-2. And then Arsenal, West Ham, I see that 3-0 to Arsenal, I'm saying. I think, Nils, I just think Arsenal are so good. Particularly at home. I really do think they win that one and keep a clean sheet. That's just my feeling, though. Daction, we will definitely have a look at some team reviews after I've done. Should we have a look at them now? One thing I will look at before we do team reviews might be useful to see the clean sheet odds for the week according to Draft Hound. So usually I like to say any team below 30% on this list I wouldn't back to keep a clean sheet particularly. So we've got Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Brentford, Sheffield United and Bournemouth all above 30%. The rest of the team all below 30. So yeah, any teams below 30, I'm not sure I'll be starting their players from this week basically, including Aston Villa. Someone mentioned bringing in Konsa. They've got a 25% chance for a clean sheet this week, so I'm not sure. No, it won't be reflected, I'm afraid, Daction. And then on the captaincy, someone mentioned Trippier. He's in and around the top. So you got Salah on 7.7. But if you don't fancy Salah as captain, it's really close on expected points between the next 5. So you got Saka, Odegaard, Trent, Trippier, and Son all on in and around 6 points. So yeah, it's an interesting one below Salah, I would say. So yeah, let me know in the chat if you're thinking of not captaining Salah, because I think there are 5 options, to be honest, that you could quite reasonably go for. Right, should we have a look at some people's teams then? I'll just log in to get that off my screen. I'm pretty sure, Daction, you sent me your team on Twitter, didn't you? You all know Alexandru loves a differential. Daction messaged me his team, so I'm just going to have a look at his first, if that's all right. We can have some on-the-fly chat advice as well. If anyone want to know, I did some other changes. I put my team on the chat. To be honest, Daction, looking at that team there, I don't see any way you could improve that. No, I mean, that looks pretty perfect to me. And what I'd say is, yeah, you've got Salah and... I'm not sure I'd do a double up of Salah and Son if I was on my wild card, because you're locking yourself into having to make 2-3, but it's probably worth it, isn't it? I'm sort of going over my own points, but it's probably worth going for the 2 of them and then just getting rid of them in Gameweek 21 and going 3 up front with Haaland. So yeah, I like that team, Daction. I like it. Go for it, mate. That works for me. Right, Draft Hound. So part of the stream, if you're new around here, I have the ability in the lovely tool called Draft Hound to have a look at people's teams and tell them what I think of them. Basically, I'll give you some advice on your team if you want it. All you have to do in order to get that is let me know your FPL ID or your team name. I search for it in Draft Hound. So here's my team, Custard Cream FC. Draft Hound will load up the team as it looked at the previous game week deadline, show you all the expected points, and there's even an assistant manager feature which will tell you your transfers. And I'll have a look at your team quickly. Now, we've got 55 people in here at the moment, so it is quite hard to cover everyone. And seeing all the ideas come in the chat already, it's quite hard to keep on top of everything. So bear with me. I will do my best to cover everyone. But I would imagine if you don't quite get covered, most people have, I wouldn't say identical teams, but you will probably find someone with a similar team to you who has a similar FPL decision to make, if that makes sense. So if you don't get covered, hopefully just looking at other people's teams will help you. Niels is up first then. So this is his team. I would probably start Bowen over Semenyo. You don't need to make a transfer here. But probably, yeah, you do actually. Yeah, you need to make a transfer. I would probably do Simicast to an Arsenal defender here. Either Gabriel or Saliba, Niels. That's probably where I'd go. The rest of the team is looking absolutely lovely, though. But yeah, I would consider Simicast to an Arsenal defender would be my move. Keep yourself a bit flexible with the Haaland cash. There you go, Niels. Hopefully that helps you. You've got a very similar decision to make to me, basically. Awesome. Well, if you've done exactly that, we're sorted then, aren't we? I would probably do that with this team. Oh, you don't need to make a transfer. Linus, you don't need to make a transfer here. I think this team is fine. I wouldn't mind, for 1 week only, I wouldn't mind starting Archer to save yourself having to make a free transfer. I think you're fine. Jam Toaster, 153079. What would I do here? Oh, I probably... Do you want to buy a Tottenham defender before they play Brighton, I guess is the question. I'd probably do Simicast Moreno to a Tottenham defender with this team. But you can't actually afford. Can you do Moreno to Doggy? Can you do that? Yeah, you can. I'd probably look at Moreno to Doggy with this one. I'd look at Moreno to Udogi with this one. Jam Toaster. Personally, I've had Udogi. I brought in Pedro Porro last week, but I had Udogi all season long, and last week I got up to 62k overall. So you can definitely do well with Udogi in your team. I reckon I'd do Moreno to Doggy. Just because, well, I just don't think you can back Moreno to start, can you? He's just not nailed enough. Or what? Could you do Simicast to Doggy? Can you afford that? Yes, he's 4.8. Even better, do Simicast to Doggy, and then Simicast definitely isn't going to play. So yeah, do that. Last week's differential captain was Watkins. Solanke. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, stick to your gut, mate. I'm sorry that you went the wrong way with that one. My ideal midfield 5, it's quite easy, really. Salah, Saka, Son, Bowen, and Gordon are my 5 at the moment. Udoggy's not suspended, no, not this week anymore. He was incorrectly flagged because he said he was coming back in Gameweek 19, but he was flagged previously, and now the flag's been removed, so he's going to play. Chris played his wildcard this week. Unfortunately, Chris, if you've played your wildcard, Draft Hound won't show it. So the teams that I will look at are the team as per the deadline last game week. So yeah, sorry, that's the only data that it has to go off of. It can't see like your current team until the deadline's happened. Who's next? Do you think taking? Not too sure about that, Joshua. I just think Haaland's going to be back next week, and he's the best captain because he's got Sheffield United at home. So I wouldn't be selling Haaland this week, particularly not for a hit. Although I consider taking Simicast and Iwobi out for sure, but I wouldn't be rushing Haaland out. Shah's Redemption. Let's have a look at that then. Morning Cortex. Hey, we found him, look. Ooh, this team is interesting. You've already played your wild card. I think if you're going to make a transfer, it has to be in your defence. But the question is, like, is this hittable? Could you take a hit here? I would definitely look at doing Livramento or cash to Gabriel. I think getting Gabriel in here would probably be the best way to go. And then, jeez, it's rough. I do think like a Palace 0-0 against Chelsea and keeping a clean sheet is not out of the realms of possibility, right? They could do that. So, and Anderson's got some decent goal threat, hasn't he, as we know. So I wouldn't be too scared about starting him against Chelsea. Charlie Taylor, I would not want to be starting him this week. Livramento, and then your full bench is flagged, so they're not going to play. So I'd definitely look at doing Livramento to Gabriel. So let's do that. And a question you're going to have to ask yourself is, do you take a hit to do... Oh, you can't afford it. You have to do Matty Cash then. You have to do Matty Cash to Gabriel. Ignore that I did that. And then I think your question is, do you take a hit to get another defender in? That'll be my question. If you think the extra defender transfer is worth 4 or more points, you know? Yeah, Livramento, I guess, could start. I guess he could start. To be honest, it's just... Yeah, I think with this team, the question is, do you take a hit? I'd definitely do cash to Gabriel as the transfer. Let's refresh it. Go back to the original team. So yeah, I guess the question is, do you take a hit? I'd probably consider it. Yeah, with Tsimikas out injured, he's the one that should go. You're absolutely right. So if you do Tsimikas out for... Yeah, I'd definitely do Tsimikas to Gabriel. That's the move, isn't it? Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place here, aren't I? Tsimikas to Gabriel. I'd start Gabriel over Taylor, obviously. I'd probably... Oh, God, who would you play in goal? I'd probably play Areola. Yeah, I'd definitely do Tsimikas to Gabriel, and then I'd say... I can't remember whose team I'm looking at now. I think this is still Joshua's team. I'd consider taking a hit if you think it's points bearing. Like, if you think the transfer is worth 4 or more points, then you take the hit. I think that's what I'd say. FPL Cortex. That's been lovely, mate. I ate so much food yesterday. It was unbelievable. I'm very conscious that my last couple of days have been really unhealthy. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to do a deadline stream and just try and get us back to normal as possible. So I'm going to try and train tomorrow as well. Just go back to normal. All right, just try and keep up with the chat. Right, Mohammed Abubakar. If you're still in here, mate, I'm looking at your team. Oh, he's in a very similar position to me. Pretty much got an identical team to me. With this one, mate, I would consider just doing Tsimikas out for an Arsenal defender. Look at Gabriel, mate. I would. I don't think you need to take a hit with this team. It doesn't look ideal, don't get me wrong, but I don't think you need to take a hit. Or the only hit you could consider is doing Semenyo to Solanke. Because, yes, Semenyo is startable, don't get me wrong, but so if we just do player rankings, we want to get Saliba in. I want to get Saliba in for Tsimikas, and then I would question. I don't know what anyone else in the chat thinks, but I would definitely look at Saliba in for Tsimikas, and then potentially a hit. Oh, he's already done it. Well, there you go. Yeah, I think those moves are fine, mate. Alexandru, I shall look at your team now, my friend. By the way, anyone that isn't currently a member or new around here, anyone that is a channel member, I will give priority when I review their teams because they're a channel member and that's part of the benefit. So yeah, Alexandru is a channel member, so I'm ignoring everyone else and looking at his team for now. So what have you done then? Simicast out already for TAA. Spending the Haaland money, but I like it. What's your gut feel for captain Alexandru? I would honestly say that interesting. So how are you lining up then? Are you playing Trent over Archer? You'll go with Trent. Interesting. Honestly, I think if I was looking for a differential captain this week, I would put it on Solanke. Merry Christmas, Matthew, mate. I just saw that in the chat. Thank you, pal. I do like that team, though, Alexandru. That looks really nice. And if you want to captain Trent, you go right ahead. Let's see what the latest player rankings say for the next week. Salah, Trent second. Yeah, it's looking nice, isn't it? It's not looking too bad at all for a Trent captain. Right, try and catch up with everyone else. We did Mohamed Aboubakar's team. Arjun Jalan. I think that's the next one. Yes. 244 5122. Oh, Callum Wilson. Yeah, I'd risk him. Definitely. Oh, you don't need to do anything. I mean, maybe consider getting... You've already tripled up on Newcastle, so you can't do it. I would honestly roll with this team. Like, you can make a decent enough 11 without a transfer here. Maybe do Simicast to an Arsenal defender if you just want the safety of someone decent on the bench, Arjun. But other than that, I think this team is really nice. I've done Mohamed. Who's next? Nick. 1, 2, 5, 7, 7, 5, 6. And if I've missed anyone's team, I do apologise. It is quite hard to keep track of things. Honestly, mate, I don't see a desperate need to make a transfer here. I'd definitely start Erling Haaland because why not? We could find out that he plays, so it's worth the risk, isn't it? The worst that happens is he doesn't start and you get Konsa off your bench. You've already got an Arsenal defender. I don't see an immediate transfer here because all of the players you have in this team are good long-term options. Like, you're not going to sell Cole Palmer, are you? Yeah, Nick, I just think you leave it, mate. Roll the transfers, start Haaland, then you got Konsa off the bench. I don't mind it. Just yeah, roll the transfer, I reckon, mate. FPL Cam. His name's Rice Baby. He doesn't have Declan Rice. Shocking. Oh, that's just... You don't need to do anything with this team. Yeah, this team is really, really nice. I can see why you're 27k overall. Yeah, really nice team. I wouldn't be doing anything with this. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing anything with that team, Cam. Just roll the transfer. You're in a lovely position to get rid of Son and Salah with 2 frees as well. I'm very jealous. I don't know how to pronounce that name. SCHL70N. Well, this one's a little bit more difficult. I would consider Lascelles. It depends how you want to play it. I would consider Lascelles to Trent or an Arsenal defender. And then bench Taylor. And then the rest of the team, I think, is alright. You get away with 4-4-2 this week. I'd consider Lascelles to an Arsenal defender or Trent. That's where I'd go with that. I also think Botman will start. Totally. I don't think Lascelles is going to play. I think it's going to be Botman and Cher as the back two. Right, just trying to keep up with the chat. Ashton, you were next. 1459019. I'm going to start remembering people's FPL IDs from regular streams. I would, with this team, you've got no Salah. That's interesting. I think I would just do Tsimikas to an Arsenal defender or Trent with this team. Yeah, that's what I'd do here. Tsimikas to an Arsenal defender or Trent. Ashton, that's where I'd go. Who was next? FPL Cortex did Tsimikas to TAA and Cash to Burn for a -4. Interesting. If Newcastle don't keep a clean sheet, you're in a bit of trouble, but likewise, I think they probably will. Sun Tzu, what should you do? That rhymes. I don't think you do anything. I don't think you need to do anything. I would start Bowen over Archer, and then I'd roll. I don't think you need to do anything with this team, Sun Tzu. I think it's lovely. 10k overall, and you can roll. You're in a cracking position. How good's that? Yeah, I mean, you don't need to do anything here. You got enough bench cover. You're fine. Absolutely fine. Phil, does he roll or make a transfer? Let's have a look. I don't know if Livramento will start. Should we have a look at that? Should we have a look at Jump the Wave on Twitter to see if Livramento is going to start? What do the Newcastle fans reckon? No, he's down at 40%. So Burn and Livramento have equal starting odds. So they know, well, the prediction is the defence will be Dubravka, Trippier, Cher and Botman. And then it's basically a 50-50 between Burn and Livramento. Lascelles is the other one, but I don't think Lascelles is going to play. It's either going to be Burn or Livramento. And Burn and Livramento have equal starting odds, according to the predictors. I'm looking at someone who's 10k overall, 22k overall. I've forgotten whose team this is. Whose team am I looking at? I am lost. This is Phil's team, I think, isn't it? He's saying roll or make a transfer. I would definitely roll. I don't think with Salah and Son, you want those two frees, mate. So I would definitely roll. Kathdan, you were next. Oh, Cortex, stick your ID in again, mate. Sorry, it's really hard to keep track. I can't show you what my screens look like, but just the way my setup's here, my chat is in a window that's like this big. So, oh, sorry, it's really hard to keep track of it, basically. Why? This is a different looking team. But I'd say with Salah and Son. I'd get Dubravka in with this team, I reckon. I'd do Arriola or Turner to Dubravka. I think that's what I'd do here, Kaftan. No worries, Phil. What's your ID, Cortex? Have I missed it? 83229. There you are. I've got a quiz coming up as well if anyone wants to do an FPL quiz. We love a quiz as part of the deadline streams. The reason I kind of skipped over your team is because you said what you already did, so I can't really give you any advice. But you did Tsimikas to TAA, Cash to Burn from -4. Yeah, I like it. I like it, mate. Bapoopus. That's an interesting name, isn't it? 9258677. Lucas Russell. Roll or make a transfer. I would probably make a transfer, and I would do. I just don't think you want to go into the game week starting Charlie Taylor against Liverpool. So, I'd probably do Taylor to Botman, something like that. Or Lascelles to Botman. Why not do Lascelles to Botman? And then you got Taylor on your bench. I'd probably do Lascelles to Botman with this team. You kind of got all the other good defences covered, haven't you? Yeah, I probably considered Lascelles to Botman. I had a good day yesterday, thanks to Cam. FPL Boo Boo. 4126. I've got a little bit of a... I'll go on a little bit of a ramble about Trent, Tom, in a second. Bear with. So who are we looking at here? I've forgotten whose team I'm looking at. Boo Boo's team, right. I think I'd probably start Livramento, because we looked at the predicted lineup, and you can't see it, but he's 40% to start, and Burn is 40% to start, which tells me no one knows if Livramento or Burn will play. So you may as well start Livramento. And then if you do that, you got Charlie Taylor coming in off the bench. And at that point, you probably want 2 frees next week to deal with Son and Salah later on. I'd probably roll, to be honest. I just don't see an obvious move. If you fancy a move, it's Tsimikas to an Arsenal defender. Like Tsimikas to Saliba, but then you've already got Gabriel. So that's the question, I think. I think that's everyone who stuck their team ID in. So for now, we will end the. We'll stop doing the team reviews. I'll have a quick ramble on Trent, shall I? So my thoughts on Trent, right? He's decent, but people are, I think, ignoring his price and the fact that, people saying you can spend the Haaland money. But if I show you, if I still got the graph, I don't still have the graphic, do I? Basically, right, at some point, everyone's going to be selling Salah in Game Week 21 when he goes to AFCON, right? But if Egypt don't get out the group stages in AFCON, he's back for sort of Game Week 24-ish time, which means he's only going to be gone for 3 game weeks. So if you spend all the Haaland money on Trent right now, you're blocking yourself out from getting Salah back when he comes back from AFCON, because I personally don't see Liverpool getting very far. So just be cognizant of that, because yes, you're looking 3 or 4 weeks in the future, but I think you need to make the transfer with a lot longer time frame in mind, like the ease of bringing Salah back in, and also looking at his fixtures, right? Burnley, there's probably a clean sheet and maybe an attacking return there. Newcastle, not sure I'm sure Newcastle score in that one. Bournemouth could score in that game. Chelsea, they could score in that game. Then it's Arsenal, they could score as well, especially at the Emirates. So when you look at the next, 5 fixtures, how many clean sheets are in there for Trent? Probably 1 against Burnley or Bournemouth, I would say. But Bournemouth with Solanke in the form that he's in, they probably score in that game, in my opinion. And then Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, there's goals in those games as well. So where's the Trent clean sheet coming from? And then you're paying 8.3 for a defender that might get an attacking return. Whereas if you look, he's got 6 attacking returns in 15 games. It's not bad, right? But yeah, I'm just not sure he's worth it. Whereas if you go cheap with an Arsenal defender, or cheaper with an Arsenal defender, you look at Saliba, next 4 fixtures, next 6 fixtures, 7 fixtures even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 fixtures. Only Liverpool is the one where I don't think they could keep a clean sheet in. But West Ham at home, Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home, Nottingham Forest away, West Ham away and Burnley away. Arsenal, I keep saying the wrong team name. Arsenal could conceivably keep a clean sheet in all but one of those games. That's my thoughts on that. So that's why I'm going for an Arsenal defender over Trent. Hopefully that helps. Matthew 2, since you ask, the only one I would say is I think Son will probably win the Asia Cup with South Korea. They have such a strong team. When you think of like this, how stacked their lineup is, I think they probably win it. So Son is the one that's probably going to be out for 6 or 7 game weeks, but Salah is probably going to be back within 2 or 3 because I don't think Egypt are going to get very far in AFCON at all. I'm going to do one more team and then we'll go on to the quiz. So Matthew 2, I'm looking at your team and then we go on to the quiz. 789 7789. It's Malte, that's it. Of course it is. I'd probably do Tsimikas to Gabriel or Saliba with this team and then roll the other transfer. Just start with the team that you've got, mate. I'd do Tsimikas to Saliba. That'd be my move. Yep, Mike, I got you, Mike. Don't worry, mate. After Mike, though, I'm going to call stamps. So I have the same... Personally, I have that dilemma in my team, Ashton, and I'm going for Saliba because he's safer, pretty much. Well, I would definitely be starting Nkunku with this team, and I'd do it over Shaw. This is the team I'd go for if I was you, Mike. I don't think you have a dilemma. Well, you do, actually, because you've got 2 free transfers. You've still somehow got Rashford in there as well. Honestly, I would do Pope to Dubravka, save yourself 1.5 million, and then that will help your team in future game weeks. But this lineup, as it is at the moment, I think is absolutely fine. And then you could consider Shaw in for Andreas. But honestly, I would look to damage limit this team rather than do anything wholesale to change it. I'd probably just do Pope to Dubravka and then give yourself 2 frees next week. I'd do something like that. I've got a quiz if anyone wants to do a quiz. I don't think it's unpopular, Matthew. I think the community seems quite split on who they favour, to be honest. Right, we got a quiz. I got 4 questions this week. I couldn't think of a sensible 5th question, so we've only got 4. My first question then. Who, according to Draft Hound, has the highest goal scoring odds in game week 19 if they start? So we've got Salah, Haaland, Darwin, or Son. What do you reckon? This one is probably the easiest of the 4. The answer is Mo Salah. He's got a 46% chance of scoring a goal this week. Next question. Who has the highest odds of an assist in game week 19 according to Draft Hound at the time that I did this last night? He's got Pascal Gross, Bukayo Saka, Kieran Trippier, or Mo Salah again. Who has the highest odds of an assist according to Draft Hound? Sorry, bear with. I've just had a text message about my new YouTube camera being delivered. I'm just going to see if I can get it dropped off to a locker rather than... Yes, I'm going to do that. Bear with, folks. People saying Trippier, Salah, Salah, Salah. Any more guesses? We'll let some more guesses come in. The answer is Pascal Gross. 31% chance, apparently, of getting an assist against Tottenham this week. So he was the number one chance of an assist, apparently. Alfred, I'll have a look at your team once we finish the quiz. There you go. Victor, good to see you, mate. I hope you're well too, and have also had a good Christmas. I had a lovely one, thank you. And I'm very pleased to be live streaming as well. Right. So this is an interesting one, okay? So rather than the team to keep the most clean sheets, the question is which player has kept the most clean sheets? Because the team that have kept the most clean sheets, there might not be a player that's played every game, if that makes sense. So which player in the league has kept the most clean sheets? Oh, so you got Longstaff. I'll go through the options, even though you can see them. Longstaff, Saliba, Shah, and Onana. Which one of these have kept the most clean sheets this season? Just going to change my drink. Interesting. The crowd seems pretty split. The crowd seems pretty split on this one. Merry Christmas, Stu Gordon. I'm a little bit unsure of the best wildcard team. I'll have to think about that one. The answer, we've had a few guesses come in now. The answer is Saliba. He's kept 7 in total so far this season. I wouldn't do Trippier to Trent, mate. That doesn't sound right to me. I would start Trippier this week. He's got Forest at home. That's a really good fixture. In fact, he's actually an outside chance of captaincy, I reckon. Finally, then, this is the final question on the quiz. Well, obviously they're all defenders, but which player has made the most blocks? So which players blocked the most shots in the league this season? This is a pretty random one. I'd be surprised if anyone actually knows the answer to this. Craig Dawson, the Ukrainian defender Zabarnyi of Bournemouth. We got Lewis Dunk or James Tarkowski of Everton. Which one has made the most blocks? Few shouts for Tarkowski, to be fair. Bit of Dunk, bit of Dawson. No love for Zabarnyi? No one fancy him? I would start Bowen. I just think Bowen. He could score against anyone. I'll probably start Bowen. He does play, mate. The answer is... Oh, I pressed the wrong way. The answer is James Tarkowski. So there you go. Let me know in the chat what you got. There's only 4 questions on this one. I couldn't think of a sensible 5th one. It was last night that I did all this, so yeah. It's Christmas Day, bear with. But yeah, let me know what you got out of 4. Obviously, there's no prize for this, but it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? If anyone got 4 out of 4, I don't think that's actually possible. Well done, Ashton in Boo Boo. Good efforts. Did I not already do that, Mike? I already looked at your team. I've literally got your team on my screen at the moment and I just talked through it, mate. I'm so confused now. You typed like 2 IDs in. I'm pretty sure I've already looked at your team anyway, mate. Is this not your team here, Mike? Is this not it? 129012. 1292012. Roger, this is the team then. Oh, mate, this is a roll. But the question is, do you start Pedro Porro? 2 free transfers. I've no idea what to do with the transfers. What a team this is. Yeah, I've no idea what I'd do with the transfers, I gotta say. I'd probably maybe do Pau Torres to Konza, just so you have a like-for-like replacement. And then this is the optimised team according to expected points. But I would say you've done Pau to Botman. I don't like that, to be fair. But I think the reason you've gone for Pau Torres is because you like Villa defence. So like-for-like swap with Konza, I think, makes sense. And then the one decision I would say is Porro over Gusto. I'd probably do that. But I mean, that's up to you, really. Please give me your thoughts. ID 156652. I wouldn't burn. I think I would do Pau Torres to Konza. Just because you might as well sell an injured player for the same team that's not injured. Alfred. Lovely team. I would consider I'd consider Simicast to an Arsenal defender. So Simicast to Gabriel or Saliba. Personally, I prefer Saliba, but have to look at how that impacts your team in the long term, whether spending the extra money is worth it. SJ. 111 4000. That's easy to remember, isn't it? The defence is a bit shaky, isn't it? I think here I would consider Simicast to Saliba or Gabriel. One of the two. That's probably where I go with that. Joshy. Yeah, Simicast to Gabriel or Saliba there. I don't think so, Mike, but I think you must think that if you've gone for Pau Torres. That's the only reason I said it. But if you think Botman is better than Konsa, then go for Botman. I'd probably start Dubravka. Just because of the record that Newcastle have at home. I'm looking at Victor's because he is a member, and that is one of the benefits of being a member, is that I look at your team first before anyone else's. My honest thoughts on this team, Victor, I would probably do Sterling to Richarlison. Whoa, is Richarlison going to play? Probably not. I consider one of the transfers I like is Richarlison in for Sterling. Another transfer I like is you could do Branthwaite. Oh no, why would you want to sell Branthwaite? Did I even look at Joshy's team? I'm pretty sure I looked at Victor's team instead of Joshy's. So we'll have a look at yours in a sec. But because Victor is a member, he gets priority, mate. That's how it works. I'm really unsure what to do here, Victor. You know, because you've got 2 frees. What are your like immediate thoughts? Did you have any burning desires? What does the assistant manager say? It says Bowen to Odegaard. I'm going to look at your team in FPL review. I'm going to do an extra bit of help. Look at it in FPL review. 7540960. Hasn't worked. Oh, everyone's probably using FPL review at the moment, to be fair. Come on, review. Right, so there's your team. Transfer solver, solve. It's telling you to get Trent in. It's like in Odegaard. These are the top priority moves that it's given you there, Victor. Sterling to Odegaard and Archer to Alvarez. This thing, like, the thing is with this team, mate, I get it, but it depends, like, what your plan to get Haaland in is. If you feel comfortable spending the Haaland money, then I don't mind Sterling to Odegaard, actually. I think Sterling to Odegaard is not too bad of a move. Because, well, hopefully it gives you something to think about. I don't really have, like, a strong affinity to a particular move. But I think any of those moves you make, according to FPL review, will probably help you. Like getting in Trent, I think makes sense. Likewise, just getting in Odegaard, so you play free at the back. I'd probably bench Konsa this week because I do think Man United score. I do think they score, but I also think Villa win the game. Right. Let's go back to Joshy. We'll do his properly. I don't even think I got his team up. 153396. If I did, Joshy, I apologise. Another team with 2 free transfers. Mate, I do not know what I'd do with this team. It's really nice. And yeah, you've got 2 frees. I've just no idea what I'd do. I've got to be honest, mate. I genuinely think you're in burner transfer territory here. Because I just don't see how you improve this team. If I was on a wild card, I'd pick something like this. You can't justify selling Darwin Núñez, can you? Yes, you can. You can make a transfer. I think you could do Darwin Núñez or Archer to Solanke. Just with how good Solanke's been and is doing, you could probably get Solanke in. Oh, Victor, I'm sorry to hear you're not very well, mate. I hope you get better soon and not a problem at all. You leave the stream as often as you like, mate. I appreciate your membership and company as always. Hope you feel better soon. 132016 for Meknath. I'm looking at all these good teams and I'm so jealous. I'd play Bowen over Colwill. Just wouldn't do anything, mate. I play Bowen over Colwill and then I'd roll. That's all I'd do there, mate. Gordon Hamilton, what changes for a wildcard? Thing is, Gordon, I won't be able to see your wildcard team. You'll have to tweet that to me at Golden Goal FF on Twitter if you want me to review your wildcard team, because DraftHound just looks at your team as per the last deadline. So if you want to look on Twitter, there's my handle. Tweet me the team. That's the best way to do it, mate. Keaton Kyle, I think. No, who's next? I'm trying to work out who put their ID in next. Gordon, tweet me your team and I'll have a look at it. A turkey in a bush. Right, so if you go on FPL and the pick team screen, it's not even that. The points screen, sorry. In the URL, In the URL, there is a number between entry and event in the browser URL, and that is your FPL ID. Hopefully that helps. Gehi to Porro or Diaby to R9. Who's R9? Oh, Richarlison. I do Gehi to Porro. Keaton Kyle was next. I'm going to have a look at your team. 1660288. Oh, it's just nothing. Like, there's nothing you can do to that team to improve it, in my opinion. Nice one, Josh. You're doing Archer to Solanke. Yeah, Keaton Kyle. Nothing I'd do here. Zane Zen, I would roll. Zane Zen is 614. You're in a really good spot with this team, mate. I'd consider doing Mubama to Solanke. Why not? Mubama to Solanke. I like that. Mubama to Solanke would be my move here, Zane Zen. Kak. What an interesting name. I just do Mubama to Solanke and roll the other transfer. A turkey in a bush. I just told you how to find your ID. Did that not help? You need to do it on a browser. Go on your points, and it will have it in the URL. I'm not a massive fan of Alvarez, particularly as KDB comes back. I mean, even we've seen how Alvarez has been playing when Haaland's not been in the team as the main centre forward, and he's not been that great. I've forgotten whose team I'm looking at here. Kak. I would probably roll. I'd probably roll Mubama to Solanke or roll would be my two there. Kak. Matthew Tippin, apologies if I missed your team, mate. Brisky, I'll have a look at yours next. Good to see you back in the chat. Who's this team? Oh, it's really hard to keep track. Matthew Tipping. I know I'd roll. I would roll this. Absolutely roll it. You've got a great team. I'd roll. Nothing you need to do there. Great position. Just roll. You'll make up ground with this team. You should get a green arrow this week, mate. Just by rolling 202 6947. Brisky. What's up with Matoma? Not predicted to start, is he? Oh. Frozen. Two frees. I would look at getting... First of all, I would start Haaland and bench Kufau and then consider doing Matoma. Same Foden. Don't mind Foden. I'd definitely say your transfer is... Matoma out. But the question is who comes in. Just because Matoma's no longer nailed in the Brighton team. Yeah, that would be my transfer. And then whoever you like as a replacement for Mitoma. I'll leave that up to you because I don't think I have a favourite. Probably Bowen, actually. I'd probably do Mitoma to Bowen. Even though, oh no, you've only got 0.3 in the bank, so you can't do that. You do have 2 free transfers, though. So maybe you could do. Can you do it against Burnley away? I don't think you can. I was going to say do Darwin to Solanke and Matoa to Bowen. If you've got a way to get Bowen in, I like that. But I don't see, personally, who you sell. I guess that's up to you. It's something to think about anyway. No, Callum Fodder. I would leave Haaland because he could play this week. If he plays this week, it'll send the community into shock. But no, I think you may as well keep him. In fact, I go as far to say you play him, and then if he doesn't start, you just get your bench, which would be, I think you can do Lascelles to Botman here. Lascelles to Botman, because I don't think Lascelles plays. I do Lascelles to Botman. And then start Botman over Konsa, and then you've got Konsa on your bench to come in if Haaland doesn't play. I think that's how I'd go. 6-2-1-6. Again, please don't take any of what I say for like gospel. I'm not an expert, don't claim to be an expert, but hopefully a second opinion helps. What would I do with this team? I'd consider a goalkeeper transfer because it's not looking great goalkeeper-wise. I'd get Dubravka in for either Turner or Areola for sure. I'd do that. And I'd also consider a defender transfer. I'd consider doing... I'll have a look at yours in a second, Gordon. I'd consider doing Lascelles to Botman as well. That's probably where I'd go with that. I think I would consider a goalkeeper transfer though. And then maybe you could just hang on to your other three. Simicast to Trent, interesting. Hey mate, you're 5k overall, so definitely go with what you feel, I reckon. Do I have to get Haaland? Not this week. I would say if you have him, don't sell him, but you don't have to get him this week. One transfer in, Mateta or Adebayo? Probably Adebayo. I don't like either of them, really. Mike Ramsey. 9550. Mike Ramsey, I would do nothing with this team. I just don't see an obvious transfer. I wouldn't try and force it. I'd just roll, I think. That's a really nice team. Right, Gordon Hamilton tweeted it to me, apparently. So let's have a look. I can't show you my DMs on stream, can I? I haven't got it, Gordon. Although I reckon someone called G. Oh no, that's not you. I don't have anything, I'm afraid, in my notifications. Charles Wang. I'm going to do these team reviews for another 10 minutes, and then I find that my brain just gets absolutely fried by looking at so many FPL teams. So I'm probably going to need to take a break at 10 if that's all right. Having been live for an hour and a half. To me, Charles Wang, that team looks absolutely fine and you don't need to make a transfer. However, if you're desperate, maybe do Charlie Taylor to Botman. Or Darwin, get Solanke in. But I mean, this is burn territory, Charles Wang here. Like, this is burner transfer territory. I just don't see an obvious move. Probably burn, to be honest, mate. I just don't see an obvious move there. I wouldn't try and force it. 3-3-6. 3-5-6-2. Safwan. I have no clue who I should start. Interest. Oh, it's just frozen a sec. Yeah. Akanji, he's not predicted to start apparently. I think I do Simicast to Botman. Why not? Simicast to Botman or Gabriel is what I do here, and then start them. I'd probably bench Kudus actually of all of these players. Simicast to Botman is what I do here, and you're 3k overall. That's incredible. Probably do Simicast to Gabriel, something like that, or you could get Trent in if you really want to. I guess. I don't really like Trent that much. A turkey in a bush. 4028. Alright, if this is you, Claire, I assume it is. No worries, Gordon, mate. If you can't make it work, just type it into the chat if you really still want me to look at it. Mate, the turkey in a bush, this team is great. I wouldn't do anything with it. I would roll your transfer, I think. Because you can't get anyone in, really, of any sort of use. Yeah, I don't see an obvious transfer here. I'd probably roll. For all of that trying to find your ID, I tell you just to roll, but ultimately that might be helpful. I agree with you, spaghetti and beans, but I just think at home Newcastle are a different beast. I don't mind Gusto. I think he's decent. I think he'll play at right back most games. I don't think there is a best defender other than Gusto, John. I'd probably say Branthwaite or Charlie Taylor. Right, I need to go and deal with something at home quickly. I'll be 5 minutes, if that's okay. 5 minutes and I'll be back. I just need to deal with something at home. I'll be back in 5. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to go and move my car because I was blocking the driveway to my parents' house and they wanted to go out. So I needed to move. Right, we're back. Who has asked me a question? Thank you for anyone that stuck around, by the way. Gordon, did you correctly send me your team on Twitter? That was a question. No, I still haven't got it. I don't think I have it. I'm just going to check my DMs. Nah, I don't have it, Gordon, I'm afraid. Sorry, pal. Sorry, pal, it didn't work. Thank you, Meme Pepe. All is good. All is good. Like I was saying, my car was blocking my parents' driveway, and someone wanted to, well, my dad's driveway, and someone wanted to go out, so I had to move my car. That was all that happened there. Christmas, innit? We filled the road with cars. I'm just gonna have a look, see if there's any team news, to be honest. What people saying the Villa team is don't expect Diaby to start. That's interesting. Nope, I've not seen anything. Just some weird tweets filling up my Twitter feed. Can you send your team on X? You're most welcome to. Right, sorry, I was just checking Twitter then. Right, Meme Pepe, can I check out your team? Let's have a look. I wouldn't do anything with this team, I don't think. Honestly, I think it looks absolutely fine. Starting Archer, I don't think is an issue, particularly against Luton. Yeah, I think this is fine. Meme Pepe, absolutely fine. Omar Bueta, if you're still in, mate, because I did go by the time you asked for this. Omar. Oh, Yeah, I would start. Actually, oh, it's frozen. No, I wouldn't do anything in this team either. I'd roll your transfer. I'd start Haaland. Consider starting Udogi over Kudus, but at the end of the day, I think it's too bad. If Haaland plays, absolute winner, and then you just get Udogi in off the bench if he doesn't. I really like this team. I really like this team. I would just roll the transfer. Who's that? Sajid Baidoun. 1-1-5-4. 5-4-5-6. It was the Cyrillic team. I remember it from last time. What would I do with this team? Getting a mid from Luton. You want a Luton midfielder? Not sure, mate. I wouldn't do that. What's wrong with Havertz? Is he suspended? He's suspended. Right. If you've already played your wild card, I don't think I'd be doing a Luton player in. I don't mind starting Kabore this week. I'd probably just, honestly, I think you could do the team that we're looking at here and then just roll the transfer, because with only 0.1 in the bank, there's nothing obvious that I would do with the team. I would definitely start Ben White, no question. But I'd probably just play with the team that Draft Hand is showing here, to be honest. Trying to keep up. Banner Boy was next. 479 3256. Again, there's nothing I like. This team is absolutely fine. You just don't have a bench, which is an issue, but I think all of these players are going to start. So, completely honest with you, Banner Boy, I'd probably roll. I don't think it's worth overthinking it. You're looking at doing a hit when I think you could just roll the transfer, to be honest with you. Oh no, Matthew too. I've always done the team ratings. That's part of the game. It is gonna get a bit heavy. I think the viewers have got. I'm obviously very grateful, but as the viewers of the stream have gone up, like we had 70 people in there at one point asking for their teams to be rated. It's probably going to get a bit difficult. I think at the moment it's just about manageable. FPL, MFZ, or I would do Simicast to an Arsenal defender and then roll the other transfer. I'm going to go a bit quicker. Me and Pepe already done yours, Bannerboy already done yours, Sajid already done yours, MFZ already done yours. Not really spaghetti and beans. I think it's been pretty normal, to be honest. I've not seen it been too mental. I don't think it's been... And to be honest, I didn't play FPL before COVID, I've got to say. Gaming with Dali, this is. I don't mind Elise. I would do Simicast to an Arsenal defender, start them over Pinnock, and then have Haaland in the starting lineup with Pinnock first on bench. That's what I'd do there. Gaming with Dali, done yours. That's it. No one else has asked for their team. I think that's everyone's. If I missed your team, stick it in the chat, but I think that's everyone's. I'm going to make my transfer now. I'm going to do Matty Cash. I'm going to do Matty Cash to Saliba. I'm going to do it. And then I need to check, just quickly, that I can get Haaland back. Yeah, I can get Haaland back in a couple of moves for Salah. I'd even get him back for Gordon if I wanted to. Yeah. I am doing cash to Saliba. That is going to be my move. It's boring, but I'm going to do it. There we go. Cash to Saliba. What a boring transfer, but it's done. It's done. Just paid $5.5 million for an Arsenal defender as well, but he's nailed on, isn't he? He's more nailed than Gabriel. Like someone was saying with Partey being back, Gabriel could be out the team. Any advice? Let's have a look. 122. It's like that name doesn't match the name in the chat. Quite honestly, you could get away with rolling this week. But in my humble opinion, I would do Mubama to Solanke. Barmy Army, hello mate. I would do Mubama to Solanke and then bench Dean because I don't think Luca Dean's going to play this week. Jack Gooding. Check yourself. Oh, 2 threes. I wouldn't roll. What's going on? I wouldn't roll. What would I do? I'd consider Anderson to an Arsenal defender. I'd probably do Anderson to Saliba. You did Richarlison in for Bruno. Fair enough. How to get team viewed? You could consider a Crystal Palace defender, Anderson to Saliba, I'd say, as the second transfer. Or get Trent in if you've saved a lot of money on Bruno. You could get Trent in for Anderson as well. I think that makes sense. I've already done your team, Nidfor and Aaron, mate. I literally just looked at it. Yeah, don't mind that, Omar. That makes sense. Ante77k. To get your team viewed on stream, you just put your FPL ID in the chat and I will look at it for you. Considering the sales to Trippier, you've got Gabriel and Trent already. I don't mind it. The thing is with Trippier is they've got some tough old fixtures. Liverpool and Man City they're next to. Does he score any points? And then he plays Aston Villa, who are also really good. In that case, Jack, if you think you'll struggle to get Haaland in, I'd buy Saliba, because I've just done that for the same reason. Any advice? 8976. Right, I'm going to do a few more team reviews because my brain is pretty much fried from them, to be honest. This team, I would do cash to Saliba. Mickey. This is Draft Hound. It's in the description. Alfie Levick, I saw that one, not the previous ones. 34872. Any advice? Ooh. Yeah, I'd do Lascelles to Botman and then roll the other transfer. I wouldn't captain Darwin this week. Oh my god, 7-2-2. Okay. No, I'd captain Salah. I think this team's fine. You can get away with rolling the transfer. I consider doing Sterling to Bowen because I just think Bowen is better. I think TAA is probably the second best captain. But yeah, Alfie, I saw. Well, you can see, I saw one comment and then nothing. There's nothing. Sorry, mate. I don't mind it. Here's the player rankings. Here's the top players for expected points. It's not bad. I saw the spaces. The spaces. I'm guessing this is your team. 1, 4, 4, 3, 9, 5, 5. Klops and Robbers. What a nice team name, eh? I would just do that, I think. I'd consider a goalkeeper transfer here, just because you're in trouble with your goalkeepers. So I consider Johnston to Dubravka because I think Henderson is currently the first choice Palace keeper. Because he's just been good. So I consider that, I think, mate. Johnson to Dubravka, start Dubravka, and then I reckon you're right. You could also do Lascelles to Botman if you want to start Turner. But for me, I would not want to start Turner. No offense, bro. I think Isak will probably play. I've got a feeling Gordon gets benched this week, but I say that every week. I think you may as well start with Isak if you've got him. Any team leaks? I've not seen anything. I'm looking now. I've not got anything. My favourite present, quite honestly, my girlfriend got me a really nice jumper, which I'm very pleased with. And she got me loads of nice things, to be honest. Don't think I have a favourite. My big present this year, I asked everyone that I possibly know to just give me some money because I wanted to buy a webcam, and I bought myself a camera called a Razer Kaio Pro Ultra, and it's the best webcam money can buy. It's a 4K massive job webcam. So I got that basically. Yeah, it wasn't cheap, but it's cheaper than a professional like DSLR camera. So I got one of those. Alexandria, I had the quiz, but especially for you. Well, I can't really go for it again, to be fair. You might have to wind it back. But yeah, I did already do the quiz, I'm afraid, mate. Well, Jack, just because I think Saliba is more safe to start. We've seen... No, Saliba has started every game for Arsenal this season. He's made 18 starts, right? Whereas Gabriel has started 13? 14 of 18. And Zinchenko has started at 13. So I just have a feeling over the congested Christmas period of fixtures that Gabriel or Zinchenko could be rested. Nice hoodie. No, I'm not wearing a hoodie, mate. I've got a t-shirt on. I'll put the jumper on. It is quite warm in this room though, so I don't need to wear a jumper, but I'll put it on and model it for you because I'm a nice guy like that. But yeah, I'm chuffed to bits with the jumper, to be honest. I think it looks well smart. Look at that. Hey? And then I've got a little necklace that I put on as well. There we go. It's a sick jumper. Very cozy. It is cozy. Right, what else we got? Hopefully that answers your question, Jack. I like him more for starts. Start Archer, Colwill, or Gabriel. Probably start Archer. Juntao, I'll look at your team. Eight oh 666 7. There's just nothing I would do with this team. I'd roll the transfer, mate. Mate, I can't wait for the new camera to arrive either. So, by the way, I haven't noticed your name in the chat before. If you've been in the chat before, I apologise. I apologise for forgetting that you had. I'm not at my home at the moment. I'm in my childhood bedroom. So the lighting and setup is not that great today. When I get back home, I've got a professional studio light and a proper YouTube setup. And I will have a 4K camera from around the 1st of January. So, yeah. I just basically, every bit of YouTube income that I'm getting so far, I want to spend it on improving the content that I make. So, yeah, that's currently what I'm doing. But yeah, appreciate the compliments on the jumper, by the way. I'm really liking it. I like the collar as well. The collar, I think, fits me. It just fits me very well. I'm very pleased with it. What was in your opinion, is the best 4.6 defender? I'd probably say it's Botman. Yeah, I'd go Botman at that price. It's from Zara. That's where it's from. Zara, by the way, good shop. I used to be big on like logo t-shirts and jumpers and stuff with like clear branding on them. But more recently, I've been into like a really plain clothes aesthetic. So yeah, I'm liking my plain clothes. I've got a pair of shorts on because it is warm in this. My dad actually puts the heating on, whereas in my home I don't. But I also have a really nice pair of cords. You can't tell. I'm not even going to get them up. But I've got a nice pair of beige cords that this jumper goes really well with. So yeah. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment on the glasses. Yeah, I managed. Oh well, I didn't get them fixed. I just got a new pair. But yeah, thank you, mate. Thank you very much. Well, one thing I would say is please go back to FPL Tom because he's an absolute legend. But yeah, I'm very pleased to hear you say that, mate. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it, my friend. I should get a GGFF custom. Well, this one's pretty custom in itself. My girlfriend got me the necklace thing. You're praising Botman. You think it's brave. Fair enough. Fair enough. One thing I would say about Botman, though. Merry Christmas, FPL associate. When you look at his stats, so he started, so far in the league, he started 5 games, right? In those 5 starts, he kept 2 clean sheets, got 1 goal and 1 assist. So in 5 starts, he got 4 returns. It's just insane. Obviously, those goals will probably dry up a little bit. But even still, I think he's a fantastic option. He does have Liverpool and Man City. Don't get me wrong. You probably wouldn't start him for those games. But most people, I think, have a bench that would cover. And at 4.5 million, you just bench him when you don't want to play him. I just really like him. You know, for me, he is a season hold. You just hold him and bench him on when he's got tough fixtures. We'll see what happens, mate. We'll see what happens. I think he's been eased into the team enough where, like, I don't think the injury will impact him anymore. But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. One thing I do need to do, though, is I do need to wrap up the stream at 10:30, if that's okay, folks. But I will stick around until 10:30 because I do have family to see and things to do. I've been live for nearly 2 hours, just sat in my childhood bedroom, and I need to go and say hello to my family and stuff. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, we need to go Solanke vice captain, don't we? Oh, no. Yeah. Probably should. I don't really know what to say about it. I don't live at home, so I don't need like my family's support, if that makes sense. It's not hard. It wasn't hard to explain it. I just said, I need to set up for a couple hours and do a live stream from my bedroom, and they said yes. I brought all my equipment with me, so that was quite easy. And in terms of supporting me with it, I mean, yeah, they seem to be fairly supportive. They don't. My dad plays fantasy football. My mum doesn't really understand it, so yeah, it's not that they don't support it. Like they don't need to. Basically, I don't live with them, so that makes sense. And ultimately, like if someone said they didn't support it, I wouldn't care. I'd just carry on. What's the plan, mate, for the upcoming game weeks? Get Haaland in next week, and then I think that's it, really. Just get Haaland in. And then I'm really happy with the rest of my team, to be honest with you. The question is, so one midfielder will have to make way when I get Haaland. That's the only thing. It's the only thing. It's either one midfielder or Watkins make way when I get Haaland. And I guess the one thing I would say, Matthew, too, is I'm not doing YouTube in like a risky way, if that makes sense. I still have a full-time job, which I balance alongside doing the YouTube work. So it's not like, I've gone out on a limb and just quit my job to do YouTube. I would love to do that in the future, but yeah, I've not like quit my job or anything or taken a massive risk. I do the two alongside each other. So yeah. Captain Son, Watkins or Solanke? I gotta say, it's between Son and Solanke. And Kunku captain? I don't know. Well, it's really tough, to be honest, Lee. So next week, I've got 8.3 in the bank. So I could get rid of Solanke. I could get rid of Watkins. I probably have to do that, to be fair. There was no way I could do... There's just no feasible way that I could have it so that Archer could come out for Haaland. So I don't know. It's going to have to be one of Solanke or Watkins out for Haaland. And it'll probably be Solanke, to be fair. It'll probably be Solanke that goes, to be fair. It feels all kinds of wrong doing that, doesn't it? But it'll probably be Solanke that goes. I can't get rid of Archer, mate. I can't get rid of Archer. But my thoughts are, once I get rid of Salah, after that I can roll transfers. When is Solanke's double game week anyway? It's not for a little while yet, is it? It's not been confirmed. Yeah, still TBC. I'd love to get rid of Archer, but it's just not possible. And then Watkins has got Burnley at home. So I can't sell Watkins with Burnley at home. But Solanke, he's got Spurs away and then Liverpool and then West Ham. Those are 3 tough fixtures, aren't they? And yeah, Salah to Richarlison I think makes good sense, doesn't it? Although FPL Review seems to really like Odegaard. That's another thing to think about. I like Odegaard too. I'm afraid FPL where I've stopped with the team reviews now. I'm nearly going to wrap up the stream, to be honest. I'll be done at 10:30. But yeah, I like Odegaard. Because when you look at the Arsenal fixtures, I was going through, his stats are not that bad. He's got 8 attacking returns in 15 starts. He plays 90 pretty much every game. He's got West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Forest, Liverpool, West Ham, Burnley. Only one tough fixture sort of in the next 7. And then after that, they're all right. I do like Odegaard. But obviously Richarlison's a good option too because he's playing up front. So yeah, it's between Richarlison and Odegaard. And yeah, he was injured for a period of time, wasn't he? I mean, yeah, pretty much every game up until the injury he plays 90. So yeah, I personally really like Odegaard as an option. I think he's good. Senesi, I don't think it's worth it, mate. I think you're looking very short term if you're bringing in Senesi. Because he's got tough fixtures. Today he plays Fulham at home. And then he plays Spurs, Liverpool, West Ham. Probably concedes in all 3 of those. If I tell you what, defenders under 4.5 million, I don't mind Gusto. I don't mind Gusto as an option. But it's risky, of course. That's the only thing you can say about that. Just check if I've got any. Anyone sent me a leak? No, I don't think I do. I have 2 free transfers and haven't used the wild card yet. So would it be a good idea to use these 2 transfers Yes. Yes, Simper. You've basically got a 1-week punt with 2 free transfers with that situation. Transfer who? I don't know, mate. I can't answer that. I don't know who your team is. I would say my transfer targets this week, if you don't have them already, would be Trent Alexander-Arnold or an Arsenal defender. and be cognizant of how you get Haaland back into your team. That's basically all you need to think about, to be honest with you. Trent done. There you go then. You've done it, haven't you? Also, quick little outfit check, right? What we saying? I love this little necklace. Does it look good poking out from the jumper, or should it be all tucked in? That's the question. I don't know what that question is, Shamil, to be honest, I'm afraid. Out. Big ups. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that question is, Shamil. I don't know what you're asking me there. Right, I could go for a couple more minutes and then end the stream if that's alright. I think that's everything though, to be honest. There's nothing else really to cover. I think I've done everything. Bent Senesi or Pedro? Senesi. Play João Pedro. He always gets on, doesn't he? He always plays minutes and he takes the pens when he's on. So I don't mind that. I'd rather play him than bank on a Bournemouth clean sheet, I think. Yeah, I'd rather play him than bank on a Bournemouth clean sheet. Lascelles to start or not? No, he's not going to play. It'll be Botman and Share, mate. Sorry, I must, just to be clear, I'm not banking on Lascelles playing. This is my team. This is my starting 11. I just changed it. Good luck to you, Alexandru. Thank you very much for joining, mate. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely Boxing Day with your family and the football goes well for you, my friend. I miscalculated with Haaland getting back. Well, I don't think he's going to be fit this week, but I think he'll probably be back next week. So I wouldn't sell him. And I think with the fact we haven't got a Man City league, I think you may as well play him. And then if he does start, you're on to a winner. And if he doesn't, he's not going to feature at all, right? So I think you'd be fine. I think you'd be fine. Right. I'm going to end it there if that's okay, folks. I'm going to go and spend some time with my family now, if that's all right. I really appreciate everyone joining the stream, contributing with your FPL IDs. I hope you appreciated the help that I gave you in return. As I say, I never claim to be an FPL expert or anything like that. Hopefully just me giving an external opinion to your team is helpful. But yeah, I hope everyone has a nice day. You too, Matthew, you too. Hope you have a nice day. And yeah, I'll be back probably with a video tonight, to be honest. If there's enough to talk about, so it's all dependent on really if the football gives me enough content. So if these games give me enough to talk about, I'll be back with a video. But if not, I'll be doing a video tomorrow, basically. So yeah, hopefully everyone has a good day. Enjoy your game week. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Okay, 2 people. Salah won't play in Game Week 21 and Unknown FC has a question. So go on then. Should I cap Watkins? Probably not this game week, no. That's my answer. Probably not. These are the captains. This is the best captains, in my opinion. Right. I'll do it. I'll salute you off.